Greek wedding. Remember the grandfather, Windex? NAC is my Windex. Psst, psst, psst. Everybody gets NAC, right? It fixes everything. Let's go back to this case. So remember, 35, right? She's age 35. Let's go here. I want to give you some of her signs and symptoms. So she's done 1 Clomid, 2 IVFs, and 2 superovulations. No success. She has a frozen cycle. She wants me to help with her uterine lining, receptivity. So I gave her the spiel about reaching the peak fertility potential, having that 100 days. And I said, this, because the high androgenic environment can make your uterus less receptive to implantation, to that embryo. And I said, now that she got it, that embryo was made in that soil that wasn't so optimal that you have on ice. What I'd like to do, and I encourage you, is give us about 100 days, give us 4 months, 3 to 4 months to work with your cycle. Let's see if we can regulate your cycle. And if we see your cycle regulated, then maybe you want to try naturally, and you can keep that other embryo for later. And if not, if you're not pregnant, then you can go back and try that embryo. Maybe even do a fresh cycle since you have embryos at their peak fertility potential. She was 185 pounds, BMI of 29. She was only 5'6". She was overweight. She doesn't get periods. She only gets periods when she's put on progesterone or does a Clomid cycle, right? So she doesn't get periods. She suffered from fatigue. She had constant bloating, poor digestion, food cravings, mild depression, hirsutism, poor sleep, cystic acne, okay? Teeth marks, swollen body, a purple body as well, thin, deep, weak pulse. What I want to share with you is 3 months into the treatment, her acne is gone. Lost 25 pounds. No longer bloating, no longer depressed. And she could tell that the hirsutism was changing. And she said, I don't think it's working. Because she hadn't had a period yet, right? She doesn't have a cycle. And so I want to share this metaphor with you because this is really powerful for anything with our patients, this analogy. Because of course they get frustrated. Brenda shared with this. They've just been inundated and they don't know who to believe. Everybody's promising them and nobody's getting them anything. That's why they're seeing you. They're not pregnant yet. So you got to put yourself in their shoes, right? And so I just said, you know how you cultivate the soil before you plant the seed? We talked about this. Yes, I get this. So we've been cultivating your soil and you planted the seed. Do you know what happens under that soil against the crazy odds? There's amazing things happening. But after you plant that seed, after a month of working on the soil, you plant the seed, and you come back to the soil and you look, and you're like, huh, nothing. I think this might have been a waste. All right, I'm gonna add some water, add a little fertilizer. You come back 2 days later, and you're like, damn, nothing. So on the surface, on this picture here, you see nothing. But underneath, something amazing is happening. The seed starts to decompose, it sprouts. And against crazy odds, no light, very poor oxygen, incredible weight, this little fragile sprout starts to grow up against the dirt. But on the surface, you're like, I don't think anything's happening. But underneath, amazing things are happening. This is the most of our patients. They don't see anything, but underneath things are happening. Now, what I shared with her, I go, you're not there. You're like that sprout over here. Your hirsutism is reduced. You lost 25 pounds. You don't have acne anymore. You're not depressed. You have energy again. You're not bloating. You don't have tomatoes on your plant, but you can see the plant is there. You want to keep watering this plant. She goes, you're right, I do. Because she was ready to quit, saying, it's not working, I'm done. I haven't had a period yet. So we treated her for another month, and she conceived naturally, and as to March 30th, she's 39 weeks pregnant. Clomid, so this is what we do. This is our medicine. Clomid, nothing. Superovulation, nothing. Superovulation, nothing. IVF, 1 embryo to transfer, chemical pregnancy, miscarry. Why? Maybe the embryo wasn't great quality, maybe the uterine environment wasn't receptive, probably both. Next IVF, nothing. ICSI, thousands of dollars, all these drugs, nothing. Why? Because it can't prepare the soil like we do. It can't help the jing to reach its peak fertility potential. And this analogy that I shared with the dirt, please use this with your patients because they get this. They can understand this idea, okay? So I wanted to share that with you. So in summary.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, was it a transfer or was it natural?
The question is, was this a natural pregnancy or a transfer? This was natural. That embryo is still on ice in the lab. She's 39 weeks pregnant, okay? It was natural. And this is not like, anecdotal, one case. I know colleagues that do this all the time with PCOS. I know we do this all the time. 100% no. Some of my patients, we do this for 6 months, they see the symptoms, they still don't ovulate or ovulate regularly, and then they go do an IVF. But we prepared the soil. And you know what? A lot of those patients get pregnant. And you know what? A lot of those patients don't get pregnant. I'm not saying you do this, it works. But I'm going to say that you're going to change lives, and our goal is healthy baby approach. Randine shares this a lot, and she's been sharing this with me since I've known her since 2000. It just started sinking in. We're so